Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today you join me at United Collision in Mountain View, where behind me sits the body in white, ready for paint. So it's been a little bit of a journey to get here, a lot of traveling, there was some delays, but now she's all prepped and ready to go. So let me walk you through what's gonna happen now, and then we'll get to shooting the car. So this should look pretty familiar at this point, given all the amount of work we've done, but we've scuffed everything here. So you can see the entire body now has been scuffed. Usually we use about 2,000 grit to do this. And then actually the guys have finished off the front, which you can't quite see here because we've masked this off, and then primed it. They also used etching primer all around where there's going to be adhesive. So if you remember back when I pulled off the glass, Porsche had taped off everywhere they put adhesive. We're going to do the same thing here to ensure we get a really good bond. So we're going to begin the paint process by actually what's known as jamming the car. So they're going to spray everything that's not exterior so we can save material. They've actually gone and masked off the parts of the body that are going to be on the exterior. That saves us a bit of paint, a bit of time. We're also gonna do a little bit of the underside as well. So we're gonna hit some of this, which has all been prepped, ready to go. This thing's been wiped down, so there's no oils or dirt on it. Then we're gonna go ahead and peel off all of the exterior tape, spray the rest of the car, and then put a whole bunch of clear on it. So we're gonna put 3 to 4 coats of clear because I'm actually gonna sand and polish out this whole car when it's done. So as you know, it's not gonna be pink. I've been hiding the color. Some of the panels, like the doors and the fenders, have already been sprayed, so they're not in the room, but it's super cool. The color looks amazing, and I can't wait to show you guys when it's all done, but I'm now gotta get out of the paint booth because they're gonna start spraying it, and hopefully I can get this car back into the shop in the next few days. So let's film the process and enjoy. All right, guys, I know everybody's been waiting for the color for a long time, so now that the car's in paint, it's about time I reveal the official color. So what I did is decided I wanted to go with a blue, and I've laid out some samples here for everybody to take a look at. I dove into Porsche's history and picked out a bunch of different colors. So this is Mexico blue, this is Gulf blue, this is Florio blue, Meissen blue, and I can't remember this one, crystal blue. So these are all a range of colors from the 70s, the 90s, and what have you, because I really wanted to go with a blue, because I have a Ruby Star Taycan, and although it'd be cool to have 2 cars the same color, I wanted to try something a little different, and candidly, I've never owned a blue car, and I really love blue. So I wanted to get a cool Porsche color, but honestly, none of these really spoke to me. I had a couple others that I tried, but I just wasn't getting the colors I wanted. So what I did is I dove into a Porsche adjacent color book, and I went to Lamborghini. So this is Blue Cepheus, and you can see it in the sun. There's like a pearl. It's a really pretty color. I had a Lamborghini, so I figured it was not too far a departure. It's still in the Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen family. So we've got Blue Cepheus, very nice color, and then Blue Semi, which is a little bit too much pearl. It kind of looks like an 80s, you know, one of those 80s cigarette boats in Florida. So I was like, I don't know. Now Blue Cepheus is just freaking bright. That's an awesome color, and it was definitely in the running. But I've always had a thing for Blue Glauco. So Blue Glauco is kind of like mint in the Porsche world. It's close, but it's not quite. You can see it's a little bit, it's more green. So when you see these 3 colors lined up, we'll move these aside here. So when you see these 3 colors, they're similar, but you've got pearl here, no pearl, because I don't want pearl or metallic. Blue Cepheus, very blue, right? So I decided, look, I like these 3, but I really like Blue Glauco. It's a really pretty color, but it's a little too green, it looks too mint. So what I did was I asked my body shop to spray me some test panels. So I wanted more blue. So blue Velcro plus 5% blue. You can kind of see the difference. It's hard to tell, but there is a subtle difference between the two. And then I said, hey, let's try 10% more blue. So you can see green, more blue, and ultimately, this is the color we went with. So this is a totally custom color. Just bringing in the sun here. It is extremely bright in the sun. It's a little hard to see on camera, but this is like shockingly blue. It's awesome. It is a custom color by me, so nothing is like this. This is technically a custom mix, and we're gonna call it Laguna Rush because Laguna is my favorite track. It's where I cut my teeth, and why not? Because we're close to Laguna Seca. Anyway, so Laguna Rush is the color. This is what I have decided to paint my car. And before everybody says it looks like Miami blue, it does not. That is Miami blue. So you can just see how much darker Miami blue is from what we're calling Laguna Rush. So this was actually from the Goon Squad guys. I bought a piece of their turbo to help support their channel. And also I really love the color. But you can see Laguna Rush, Miami blue. Totally custom color. So it's a paint to sample one of one color. And now back to the video, we can go ahead and watch them paint the car. Okay, it's been a while, but finally the car's back from the body shop. So it looks absolutely amazing. The video does not do it justice at all. It is way, way brighter in person. It looks kind of very blue right now, but in person it's much more of like a teal blue. It just looks awesome. I could not be happier with this color. So they did the entire inside, all painted just like factory. There's no clear on the inside. They did clear obviously on the outside. They cleared the front area here, and I'll show you under the hood. This is just loosely attached right now. So all this has been cleared too. So it came out really, really, really nice. Everything's painted, looks extremely good. So shout out to United Collision in Mountain View for doing such an awesome job on the car. I mean, if you look at the hood, there's hardly any orange peel at all. And there's only a few little dirt nubs that I'm gonna take care of. So when we had them shoot the car, they did about 3 heavy layers of clear. So we've got a lot of clear to work with. This whole car is gonna be color sanded and polished out when we're done. I even had them spray all the bolts blue so that when we attach the fenders and the hood and any of the other ancillary systems, they'll all be blue. They did the underside too. So even though the factory doesn't paint the underside, they went ahead and painted the underside for me. So it looks really awesome. Super, super happy. Again, the color is epic. All the parts are around the shop. We got the doors, we got the hood, we got the bumpers. Everything's been done and it just looks epic. So there's a couple things to note. I had them tape off anywhere we're going to be mounting glass. The front glass, the roof, the rear glass has all been taped off, and then they did an etched primer here, just like they do on the factory. So really excited to have the car back. Took a lot longer than I hoped, but now we're gonna get started assembling the car, and hopefully that'll go pretty quick. First order of business is to get that wiring harness in. That's the first thing you do when you build a car, and luckily, while the car was at the body shop, I finished that. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that next, and then we're gonna load it in the car and start finally assembling the GT3. So last we left off, the harness was all torn up on the side, and while the car was at the body shop, what I did is I spent a long time researching, going through a lot of esoteric Porsche drawings to rebuild the front harness here, and then also add in connectors over here. I think a little mixed up, so 2 connectors. Turns out my car has a driver assist module in the front, and the donor car does not, which means this has a very different harness. Porsche actually builds a different harness for every car with every different option. It's bananas. So with the help of some friends and lots of drawings and reviewing, we finally figured out all of the pins of the connector. So this connector here, which lives in the front, is for the PASM. So Porsche fans will know what PASM is. So your PASM module actually lives in the front trunk. And this, of course, is different depending on what other options you have. So this communicates with a bunch of other modules on the car. And then this connector, which is on the driver's side, is for the driver assist module. And since the donor car didn't have that, this whole harness was missing from the donor car. So what I did was actually cut off the harness from the donor car, which is here, and then splice it in to the main harness that I'm using, and then added in wires for the 2 connectors I needed. So while the car was in the body shop, I finished that. Took about an entire week, but this is the whole harness. Should be finished. Again, we'll see when we put it in how many errors we get when we turn the car on. But now I'm gonna wrap this all up. I'm gonna put it inside the body, and then we'll start installing. So let's go. All right guys, so we pretty much finished the wiring harness. This is what was missing from the car originally. So here's the PASM module installed, and this is the harness I had to build. So it connects up nicely, runs through the frunk, and they're these nice molded pieces that Porsche builds so that you don't have wiring running through the trunk and it can be nice and flat. This is the ZFAS module, or known as the driver assist module. I also had to build this harness, so I'm just waiting for one clip, and then this is actually going to mount on the front here, which this was actually in my car, but here's the original bracket. As you can see, it's pretty mangled. In fact, there's a stud from the original frunk sitting there. And here is the module, and see there's just stuff inside of it broken off, so it's no good. Luckily, I had a friend who had one. Rest of it went through really well. All the grommets fit. I took some of the plastic cable runners off the donor car, got most of the dash wiring together, so all this fit in really nice. It was actually pretty therapeutic to put all this in because everything clips together. Where I didn't have clips or where they were broken, I installed new ones. I bought a whole bunch of these things off Amazon, lots of these fir trees. I've got edge biters and some of the stud mounts, everything. So got all this stuff on Amazon, really, really useful. If you guys have projects, they give you a whole bunch of different lengths, different size, giant bag of cable ties, and then just mounted it up. So ran the cables up top, everything's mounted. The rear is pretty much done. I got the wrong size stud mounts for these. The harness actually clips in to the back here, so I'm just waiting on new parts there. But all the modules are installed. So we've got the suspension lift module over here, gateway, and I can't remember what that one is, but everything's installed now. Got the rear trunk all sorted out, ready to go for the rear window, and airbags are in. So my car did not have these. Whoever had rebuilt it last had just not put them in and cut off all the connectors. So I have reinstalled the connectors, put all the airbags in, so ready to go. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. A lot of work went into it. Obviously, we've got the car back painted, wiring installed. Up next is going to be coolant lines, brake lines, AC lines, and all the things I really don't want to do, but I'm going to do those so we can get those in position, and then we're going to mount the dash. So if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications because we've got more content coming right up.